Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. This is the week 17 over under Vegas spread picks. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Friday, 4:30 Eastern time. I will be here for a live call-in show. Leave your questions below. Let's get to the first game. We got the Arizona Cardinals at the LA Rams. The playoffs are on the line here, over under 40.5, and I'm going over. Make it a money pick. Money. And when I'm thinking of this game, I'm thinking of the desperation. I'm thinking about the playoffs. I'm thinking about what this whole season has culminated towards. And the Cardinals have had a good season, but will that loss against San Fran pretty much just tank their whole season? And then we got the Rams, no Jared Goff, a young quarterback's coming into play, but I still think this pushes to over. I think this Arizona offense responds, but also I think Sean McVay, boy wonder, he's able to manufacture 20 to 24 points, and this will be able to push it towards over. I think the Cardinals, they put up their 27-24. The over-under is 40.5 right now. I really like how this is adding up. And when you look at the motivation of these teams, when you look at everything that's on the line, sure, you would point towards a defensive football game, but I don't see it that way. I see this game completely exploding in the fourth quarter. I see a lot of points in this fourth quarter. I'm going over. Next game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Denver Broncos. The over-under is 51. I'm going under, and I got to sing money. I got this going under because this Raiders offense, yes, they've been productive this second half of the season, but they've fallen off. They're not running the ball as well in the red zone. They kick a lot of field goals. And then you got a Denver offense. They might have a good quarter, then 3 bad quarters, and that's just what you're going to get out of these two teams. I wonder about the energy level. I wonder how both defenses will come out. I think the defense will actually control this game, but more due to offensive ineptitude. And I watched the Broncos last week against the Chargers. I'm going to be honest. I don't see how the Broncos are going to be able to get over 21 points, and I think that's what they need to get to push this towards over. I'm going under. Next game, we got the Seattle Seahawks at the San Francisco 49ers. The over-under is 47. I got this going under because I don't know if this San Fran offense is coming to dance with Russell Wilson and the Seahawks offense. I think the Seahawks offense, they'll do what they do. They'll put up a proficient 27, 30, 24 points. We know the range in which they score, but I don't think the San Fran offense has a big day, and we know the Seahawks defense is vulnerable. But like I said on the show yesterday, they are playing better, and when you look at the matchups, when you look at the X's and O's, when you go to the chalkboard, okay, Seattle's front seven's actually decent at stopping the run. They can't cover, and their linebackers can't cover, and that's the big problem, and they don't get a pass rush, although Dunlap has been helping. San Fran's not the team to exploit this. They're not the team to come out, sling it 35 times for 350 yards. This just isn't the milieu. This isn't the DNA of the San Francisco 49ers. I actually really like this under because I don't think San Fran is a willing dance partner to push this towards over. Next game, we got the LA Chargers at the Kansas City Chiefs. The over-under is 43.5. I'm expecting a better showing out of these Kansas City second stringers than others. I think this offense will come out. I think they'll do what they need to do. I think we'll see a little bit more run game than usual, but I think that can help against the Chargers. The Chargers, they got a decent pass rush. We know Bosa's been hurt. That has been hurting, but I think this Kansas City offense does their part, and I don't think Herbert's done yet. Listen, the game last week when the Chargers got the push, it was a little bit frustrating. It just seemed like the offense took their foot off the accelerator. I felt like they could have put up 30, 35 points on Denver. I think the Chargers and Herbert respond. I got this going over. Next game, we got the Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. The over-under is 44.5. I had no idea here. I'm going under. When I did my calculation, I put 24-20 as the final score, and that lands right on the 44. The over-under is 44.5. I'm going under. Listen, people, there's no science here. This is a game that's going to be enjoyable. You really want to see what this Miami defense that's been playing so well, what they could do against this explosive spread Bills offense that just hits at you in waves with the best receiver in football right now, Stephon Diggs. I'm going under. There's no science at all here. Next game, we got the Baltimore Ravens at the Cincinnati Bengals. The over-under is 44.5. I'm really sure this goes over. It's a borderline money pick up. I think Cincinnati shows up. I think they fight. What do I expect out of Cincinnati? Not a lot. But I expect that they fight. I think Zach Taylor will find some creativity on offense, and I think they'll be able to do their part. But also, this Baltimore offense, they're going to come in and they're going to completely rip through this Bengals defense. It's been cute, this Bengals defense, the last 2 or 3 weeks. It was cute against Pittsburgh, but that all ends, and you're going to see lots of Lamar Jackson. You're going to see lots of read option. I think Baltimore puts up over 27. That's why this is going over. Next game, we got the Minnesota Vikings at the Detroit Lions, over under 53.5. It doesn't look like Dalvin Cook will play. I'm still going over. That's not changing my opinion. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe and check out the Vegas spread videos. Make sure you go hit that like button. But one thing I have to say is I'm feeling a little bit uneasy about my Minnesota -7. Now that Dalvin Cook isn't playing. But this over-under is 53.5. I got this going over still because Detroit can't stop anyone. Minnesota can't stop anyone. And yes, you don't have Dalvin Cook, but you got the best young receiver in the league in Justin Jefferson with an absolute craftsman in the red zone, Adam Thielen. Kirk Cousins has had his best year as a Viking, even though it hasn't showed in the wins and losses. And did I mention Detroit can't stop anyone? And this Minnesota Vikings defense can't stop anyone. You're not getting Stafford, but you still think that the Detroit Lions can cross over 20 with a week to prepare. Next game, we got the New York Jets at the New England Patriots, over under 39.5. I got this going over. And I think the Jets will put up over, I think it's going to be like a 24-17 game, 24-20, 17-20. It's really close, so I wouldn't drive this home as a money pick, but I could see some points transpiring, especially in the second half. And we have to see if Stidham's playing. If Stidham's playing, just delete everything I said and go under. But this 39.5 is one of the lowest over-unders you're going to see in the league. But you want to know what? Vegas is right when you look at these two teams. Next game, we got the New Orleans Saints at the Carolina Panthers. The over-under is 45.5, and I'm going over here. I think this Panthers offense, they do a little bit. I don't think it's anything spectacular. I don't think it's anything expansive. I don't think you're going to be seeing huge plays, but I think the Panthers will put together drives, and I think they will be able to move the ball against the Saints defense. I think the Saints defense, I think they're going to be resting people more than others think. And the Saints defense is rather old, and really, what do they need to prove in this Week 17 matchup against a pesky Panthers team? And then you got the Saints offense. We'll see how they come out. We'll see what they throw at, but they'll be able to put up points against the Panthers. I'm going over here. Next game, we got the Tennessee Titans at the Houston Texans. The over-under is 56.5. I got this going under because Tennessee has to get serious. When are they going to? It wasn't a serious performance last week against the Green Bay Packers. You're going to lose games in this league. You're going to have disappointing performances. But at a certain point, some of these performances out of Tennessee, they aren't professional. They really aren't professional. They look unprepared. They look like they don't know the circumstances of the game that they're in. And that is one thing that's troublesome. The Titans need to keep it simple. They need to run the ball. They need to keep that bad defense off the field. I believe that's what they get back to here. They run the ball a lot on the Texans, and they control time of possession. We know the Texans, they can't stop anyone, But Tennessee doesn't need to prove they can score 30 or 35 points. They need to prove they can control the ball and play turnover-free fundamental football. And then when you look at this Texans offense, I think they'll get some things going. But, man, Deshaun's beat up already. And one thing people aren't talking about is how many hits this man has taken throughout the year. I think eventually that's going to catch up. And how much does he want to stand in and take big shots to the sternum when there's not a lot to fight for? I got this going under because I think both teams have long drives. I'm curious to see if Deshaun can keep this close. Next game, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cleveland Browns. The over-under is 42.5. Mason Rudolph, what does that mean? It means under, right? Not so fast. I'm going over on this 42.5. I think the Browns, they have to be good on offense this game, and they have to prove things. And the Browns are fighting for their life. But I do want to mention a caveat here. I think the Steelers will be able to put up 20 points. Will that be enough to push it over? Let's wait and see. But I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers will put up 20 points. And I think this game will be closer than people think. I think this will be an absolute battle. And I think there is a big possibility we could see the Browns choke. What that means for the over-under, I'm not really sure. Which group are they more likely to choke on, the offense or the defense? I would say offense, but I still think they're able to generate enough points to push this towards over. Next game, we got the Dallas Cowboys at the New York Giants. The over-under is 45. I'm going under. And I think the Giants defense shows up. I don't know where they've been the last 2 weeks. They certainly haven't been getting a lot of help out of Daniel Jones, but I think this Giants defense shows up, and I think that's the tone. I think that is the storyline and the thesis of this game. The Giants defense versus the Red Rifle Andy Dalton, and a lot of people are sipping this Andy Dalton hype, and I don't really understand it. Everyone has such a short-term lizard brain that they can't see the totality of it. Some of the teams Dallas has been playing, and they don't understand that Andy Dalton is limited. He'll have some good weeks, but if he plays a defense that's prepared and ready to fight, Andy Dalton's a 17, 20-point quarterback. I don't care how many weapons you put around him, and Dallas has a ton of weapons. And I also have this going under because we can't rely on Daniel Jones to get going. And everyone's using the injury as a convenient excuse. And that is all well and good. And there are injuries in this league, and sometimes injuries limit performance. But at week 17, every man in this league is injured in some shape or form. Yes, they make it to the field. Yes, they play. But everyone's injured at this point in the NFL. Anyone who tells you different just doesn't understand this game. I think Daniel Jones has another disappointing, lackluster day, and I think this Giants defense comes in, and I think they play strong. I'm going under. Next game, we got the Green Bay Packers at the Chicago Bears. The Bears over under 52. This one was really tough. I'm going to go under. I originally had it going over, but I'm going under. I think the Chicago defense, I think they come out and play good. But then again, you look at this Green Bay offense, and they're actually running the ball. They're mixing in play action. It is a really, really tough game to judge. I'm going to go under. We'll see how it goes. Listen, I have no guidance for you here because I've been rattling this around in my head all day, and either it's over or under. There's no science here. Next game, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Indianapolis Colts. The over-under is 48.5. I got this going over. Now, this is contingent on Mike Glennon starting and not Gardner Minshew. Minshew is absolutely terrible, and I've been saying that since he's a rookie in this league. Like, someone as bad as him can drastically change an over-under. It's just, let's be realistic. He is that bad that he could change this. As of right now, I got this going over, and this Colts offense, they're going to come in on a mission. Everything is on the line for the Indianapolis Colts this week. The offense, they look good, so good in that first half, then they completely fell off. And I have questions about Phillip Rivers, but this Jags defense will be a good remedy for that. But here's one reason why I do think it's going over, but here's one reason why there should be some pause for concern, because this Jags defense, they haven't quit yet. And I want to just give them a shout out for not quitting, because we saw in previous years how they quit. They haven't quit yet. So Phillip Rivers is actually going to have to whip work to be able to push this towards over. I think the Colts get there, it's just barely. Next game, we got the Washington No-Names at the Philadelphia Eagles. The over-under is 42.5. I got this going over. Now, we have to watch Washington's quarterback situation. We know there'll be no Dwayne Haskins. We don't know if Alex Smith will start. If Alex Smith starts, this is going over, because him and Hurts, they're worth 20 to 24 points on their own. So if Alex Smith starts, the over is a borderline money pick. It's only 42.5. I saw on some lines and bookies they had it at like 41.5, 40 even. So I think this is one you can watch, and once you know Alex Smith is ready to go, I think that's when you can make your full decision on this game. But I do want to mention something. The Eagles are a better team with Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts isn't the best dude at throwing the ball in the world, but he's everything that this Eagles team needed. They needed to run the ball more. They needed to be more balanced. They needed to get more physical, and Jalen Hurts has brought that. And that's actually opened up the passing game, and they're actually getting play-action passes down the field. That's what I think Philly does. I think they run a lot of read option. They pound it with Hurts. Hurts is able to get those short yardage conversions. That is so important. Miles Sanders is playing decent, and that play action for Philly, I think that'll exploit Washington. And if Washington has Alex Smith, they can attack this Philadelphia secondary. We all know that. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Share the videos. I have a soccer channel, Lawson Bet Soccer. Go subscribe there. I'm going to start posting on there this week. I appreciate all the support. Live call-in show, Friday, 4:30. Leave your question below. Let's get this money in week 17. It's been a great year. Happy New Year. 2020 was our year. Everyone complains about 2020, but we're making money.